Good morning. This is Sumana, working as Assistant Professor at Department of Biochemistry, Government City College, Nayapur, Hyderabad. Today's our topic is the enzymes which are involved in the replication of DNA. Those are helicase, primase, ligase and topoisomerases. These are the enzymes which involve in the DNA replication. We'll discuss detail about these enzymes. DNA helicase. DNA helicase are ATP dependent unwinding enzymes which promote the separation of the two parental strands and establish replication fork that will progressively move away from the origin. It means it will break the hydrogen bonds between two complementary strands of DNA so that the DNA can act as the template for the replication process. And DNA helicases hydrolyze ATP when they are bound to a single strand of DNA. And hydrolysis of ATP can change the shape of protein molecule in a cyclic manner that allows the protein to perform the mechanical work. And DNA helicases utilize this principle to move rapidly along a DNA single strand. When they encounter a region of double helix, they continue to move along their strand, thereby unwinding the helix. And the unwinding of the template DNA helix at a replication fork could in principle be catalyzed by two DNA helicases acting in concert, one running along the leading strand and the other along the lagging strand. Because two strands are there in the DNA, one will act as leading strand and other will be the lagging strand, and by breaking the hydrogen bonds between these two strands of DNA, it will unwind the DNA so that the DNA can act as the template for the replication of the DNA. And we see in diagram, see if you see here, this is the DNA which has two strands, and with this is the DNA helicase enzyme which is binding the DNA so that it's breaking the between these two strands hydrogen bonds are there, and this helicase enzyme is breaking hydrogen bonds one by one between two strands so that both the strands are getting separated. And after the function of the DNA helicase enzyme, these two strands are separated by the DNA helicase enzyme. Then, so that these two strands of DNA can act as template for the DNA replication. This is about the mode of action of DNA helicase enzyme. Next is DNA primase. Primase is nothing but the enzyme which can add the primer during the replication process, and the enzyme can synthesize a short RNA primers. Here not DNA primers, it will synthesize RNA primers which are less than 15 nucleotides to prime the DNA chain elongation. And the term primosome is used to denote a complex between primase and helicase, and sometimes with other accessory proteins. And this what is the need of primer here is that DNA polymerase cannot synthesize or cannot add the nucleotides by its way. It requires free 3' hydroxyl group, and that will be provided by the RNA primer. And this primase enzyme can synthesize up to 15 nucleotides of RNA so that it will be providing free 3' OH group. And here if you see in the diagram, see this is the template strand of DNA, and DNA primase enzyme is adding, and it's synthesizing or it's adding ribonucleotides. These are the ribonucleotides one by one complementary to the template DNA so that it can provide the free 3' hydroxyl group for the further addition of the deoxyribonucleotides for the DNA replication. This is about the DNA primase. And next is DNA ligase. Ligase, the function is it will bind two nucleotides by making a phosphodiester bond. And how this will act is DNA ligase that catalyzes the joining of the ends of two DNA chains. And this enzyme catalyzes the formation of a phosphodiester bond between 3 hydroxyl group at the end of one DNA chain and the 5' phosphate group at the end of the other. It will form the phosphodiester bond between free 3 hydroxyl group and free 5' phosphate group, so that it will form the phosphodiester bond. Then two chains will be linked. An energy source is required to drive this thermodynamically uphill reaction. It means it requires energy. In eukaryotes and archaea, ATP is the energy source, whereas in eubacteria, NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, plays as energy source. And when ATP or NAD functions as the AMP donor during the reaction catalyzed by the DNA ligase, and pyrophosphate or NMN, that is nicotinamide mononucleotide, is released. From ATP, AMP will be utilized, and so that pyrophosphate will be removed, and from the NAD also AMP will be utilized and NMN will be released. So for the function of the ligase enzyme, it requires energy. The energy source will be either ATP or NAD. We'll see in the diagram. See here, this is the continuous DNA strand. If you see the 5' 3' strand here, there is a gap. See here, this is a gap, and it is free 3 hydroxyl group 3' and this is 5' free phosphate group is there. And with the help of the enzyme ligase, in the presence of either ATP or NAD, the pyrophosphate or NMN will be released and AMP will be given to the ligase enzyme, and this will go and binds at this place, so that the bond formation is occurring between hydroxyl group and the phosphate, and after the transfer of electron, the AMP will be removed, and now the formation of phosphodiester bond is between these two molecules, so that the two strands of DNA is together. Now this is about the mode of action of DNA ligase. Next, the enzyme is topoisomerase. A DNA topoisomerase is a nuclease. What is the meaning of nuclease is that it will break the phosphodiester bond in a DNA. The function of nuclease is breaking of the phosphodiester bond in a DNA strand, and this reaction is reversible. Reversible means it can again comes back, and the phosphodiester bond reforms as the enzyme leaves. When the enzyme is bonded to the DNA strand, it will break the phosphodiester bond, and after the removal of the enzyme, again the phosphodiester bond will get reformed. The first DNA topoisomerase was discovered by James Swan in 1971, and he called that as omega protein from the E. coli. Now that omega protein is called as DNA topoisomerase 1. And topoisomerases could be divided into two main types, that is type 1 topoisomerase and type 2 topoisomerases. We'll discuss about the type 1 topoisomerases. This type 1 topoisomerases produces a transient single strand break. See, DNA is two strands. DNA has the two strands, and this type 1 topoisomerase will break only single strand. It will break phosphodiester bond in a single strand, but not in the two strands of DNA. And this enzyme binds the DNA and breaks one strand, forming a 5' phosphotyrosine linkage, which acts as an intermediate 5' phosphotyrosine linkage. the enzyme binds the DNA and breaks one strand, forming a 5' phosphotyrosine linkage. And this break in the phosphodiester backbone allows the two sections of the DNA helix on either side of the nick to rotate freely related to each other using the phosphodiester bond in the strand opposite the nick as a swivel point. It means it, see, if you take any rope, if two ropes are together, if there is any break in one rope, then from that break the other rope can be moved. In the same way, in the DNA, when there is a break in one strand of the DNA, from that nick point the other strand can move or come out from that nick point, so that the number of linking number will be changed. And the type 1 topoisomerases are further subdivided into two subclasses as type 1A topoisomerases and type 1B topoisomerases. And this type 1A topoisomerases form a covalent intermediate with the 5' end of the DNA, whereas type 1B topoisomerases forms a covalent intermediate with the 3' end of the DNA. This is only the difference between two types of type 1 topoisomerase. That is, type 1A is with the 5' end of DNA and type 1B is with the 3' end of the DNA. And different types of reactions catalyzed by type 1 topoisomerases are relaxation, knotting or unknotting, catenation or decatenation. These three functions will be done by the type 1 topoisomerases, that is relaxation, knotting or unknotting, catenation or decatenation. And not all type 1 topoisomerases can carry out the full range of reactions which are mentioned above, that is relaxation, knotting and catenation. For example, the type 1 topoisomerase from the E. coli can relax only the negatively supercoiled DNA. That is type 1 topoisomerase of E. coli can relax only negatively supercoiled DNA, while the type 1 enzyme from the Cas thymus will relax both negatively and positively supercoiled DNA. This is the different functions of type 1 topoisomerases. Now the type 2 topoisomerases. The type 2 topoisomerases make a transient double strand break in the helix. It's making a transient double strand break in the helix. See, type 1 topoisomerase break only one of the strand of the DNA, but type 2 topoisomerases will break two strands of the DNA, and it will forms a covalent linkage to both strands of the DNA helix at the same time. It's forming the covalent linkage to both the strands of the DNA helix at the same time. Once a type 2 topoisomerase molecule binds to such a crossing site, the protein uses ATP hydrolysis to perform the following set of reactions efficiently. See, once the topoisomerase 2 binds at the crossing site, the protein uses the ATP hydrolysis to perform the following set of reactions efficiently. What are those functions are? It can breaks the one double helix reversibly to create a DNA gate. It breaks one double helix reversibly to create a DNA gate. And the second function is it causes the second nearby double helix to pass through this break. It causes the second nearby double helix to pass through this break, and it then receives the break and dissociate from the DNA. All these steps will occur after the ATP hydrolysis. And the different functions of the different type of reactions catalyzed by the type 2 topoisomerases are relaxation or supercoiling, knotting or unknotting, catenation or decatenation. All these three functions are same as type 1 topoisomerases, but the only extra function by the type 2 topoisomerase is supercoiling, whereas type 1 topoisomerase can only do the relaxation but not the supercoiling. But type 2 topoisomerase can do both relaxation and supercoiling. And the DNA gyrase, this is one of the enzyme which comes under type 2 topoisomerase. The DNA gyrase, the first type 2 topoisomerase discovered by Martin Gellert from E. coli. This enzyme is discovered by Martin Gellert from E. coli. This enzyme has the ability to introduce supercoils into the DNA. This DNA gyrase enzyme has the ability to introduce the supercoils into the DNA. It can introduce negative supercoils into the DNA using the free energy from the ATP hydrolysis. It will introduce the negative supercoiling by using the ATP as the energy source by hydrolyzing it. And DNA gyrase is a tetramer of two different subunits. Tetramer means it consisting of 4 polypeptide chains or 4 subunit, and out of 4 subunit 2 are same. It means 2 different subunits. Suppose if it is A, B, then A will be 2 in number and B will be in 2 in number. In that way it will forming tetramer of 2 different subunits, and the gyre A subunit cuts and rejoins the DNA, and the gyre B subunit is responsible for providing energy by ATP hydrolysis. See, these two are the subunits which are 2 in number. Gyre A is 2 in number and gyre B is 2 in number. These two subunits has the 2 different functions, whereas gyre A cuts and rejoins the DNA, whereas gyre B responsible for providing the energy by hydrolyzing the ATP molecule. And this DNA gyrase is inhibited by quinoline antibiotics. Quinoline antibiotic, which is a malarial drug. This DNA gyrase is inhibited by the quinoline antibiotics such as nalidic acid and their fluorinated derivatives such as norfloxacin and ciprofloxacin, which bind to the gyre A protein. And novobiacin also inhibits the gyrase by binding to the gyre B protein and prevent it from binding ATP. All these drugs acts on DNA gyrase. What are those drugs? Quinoline antibiotics such as nalidic acid and fluorinated derivatives such as norfloxacin and ciprofloxacin, which can bind with the gyre A protein, whereas novobiacin binds with the gyre B so that it will prevent the gyre B from binding with the ATP molecule. And topoisomerases, reactions catalyzed by topoisomerases involve breaking one or both strands of the DNA, allowing the free end or ends to rotate about the helix axis and resealing the break. This would alter the linking number of the DNA. See, once if there is a break in the one of the strand of the DNA and the other strand is moving, or else if there is a break in 2 strands and it's moving from the next, then it will alter the linking number. Both type 1 and type 2 topoisomerases change the linking number of DNA. Both type 1 and type 2 topoisomerases change the linking number of DNA. That is, type 1A topoisomerase change the linking number by 1, whereas type 1B topoisomerases change the linking number by any integer. It means it may be either 1, 2, 3, 4, any number. And type 2A and type 2B topoisomerases change the linking number by 2. Here you can see the difference, that type 1 changing linking number by 1, type 2 by 2, and type 1B can change any number of linking number. And here you can see in the diagram how the action of two types of topoisomerases are occurring. Here if you see, here the linking number is 2 in the DNA with 2 supercoils. See, DNA with 2 supercoils. The type 1 topoisomerase, one strand will be broken. See, out of these 2 strands, here only one strand is breaking, and the one strand passes through and reseal loop. After breaking of the one of the strand, the other strand is moving or coming out of the nick, so that it's changing the linking number by 1. Here 2 supercoils are there, here only one supercoil is there. And the action of type 2 topoisomerases, there is a breaking of the 2 strands of the DNA. So both strands passes through each other and resealed, so that there is no supercoils at all. Here 2 are there, here 0. So type 1 topoisomerases are changing the supercoils or linking number by 1, and type 2 is changing the linking number by 2. Here 2 are there, here 0. So 2. In this way, the topoisomerases acts or relaxes the supercoils during the replication process. The main function of the topoisomerase is that it will remove or relax the supercoils, so that the DNA can act as the template by after the binding of the DNA helicase enzyme. Then the replication process will occur. In this way, all these enzymes, those are DNA helicase, primase, ligase and topoisomerases, these enzymes involved in the replication process, and the actual replication process will be done by the DNA polymerases. Those are called DNA replicase also. In this way, these enzymes will act in the replication process. And thank you to all.